To you. Welcome everyone. If you're joining us if this is your very first time, this is the Use Cases Committee, and where we oftentimes will do demos, and this is the Use Cases demo. So this Use Cases demo happens once a month. It's in conjunction with Hemant, and what he leads is another part of the Use Cases Committee where we do more of a deeper dive on a particular use case. So permitting has been one of those recently. So I hold mine at the beginning of the month, and Hemant holds his kind of mid-month. And so today, while we are working on getting our agency presenter online here, is I'll just do a quick introduction of Gnome and his company. So Darwin AI is who we're going to hear from today. And I was able to meet with Noam a couple of weeks ago, and it's pretty slick of what he's got. He's got a centralized platform for organizations to kind of safely spot and manage and govern AI tools. And we've kind of seen something, some similar things earlier in the year. But this one, I think that you'll also get there'll be some follow-up and some interest in how this particular tool works. So, Gnome, was Mark able to get on?
I'm texting him now to see that I think there was an issue with the link. Give me 1 minute to see if I can get him on. So 1 second.
And if not, if you want to do your half of it or your presentation
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, give me 1 minute. I'll try him, and if not, I get started. But I obviously there's some familiar names here. I would love for you guys to hear from Mark. I think it's more interesting too. But
Yeah.
give me 1 minute to make sure we can get him on here.
Okay.
1 second.
Not a problem. Okay, and in the meantime, if you if you're online, go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat, especially if you're new, if this is one of the first use case demos that you have attended. And then also, which is always very helpful for Hemant and I, is to understand if there are particular use cases that you are starting to experiment with. That's also super helpful because as we've learned over the course of, my goodness, we've been doing this for almost 2 years now. Use cases have been evolving and use cases have been changing quite a bit. And so where, we kind of started with a lot of the experimenting with ChatGPTs, we were starting to notice that there are more GovTech specific companies starting to pop up and introducing AI in very interesting ways. And so if there are use cases that is coming out from you all from an agency first perspective, in other words, you're tackling them and you're putting some pilots around them, great. We'd love to hear those. And or if you are entertaining vendors as well, those are always helpful for us to know because we do invite lots of folks into these use case demos. So yes, please continue to introduce yourself, and especially if you're experimenting with any use cases, would love to know about that as well.
Okay, I figured out the mystery. He was on the Google Meet, which I guess was on the. But there Mark is. We got him
There's
just in time.
Mark.
So Nicole, great job on filling the time. I appreciate taking that extra minute. We can get Mark joining in as well. So
Nicole was the filler. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nicole, should I take it away and introduce myself and then Mark as well, and I'll share screen as well at some point if that works.
Yep, you should have capability to do that. You're ready to go.
Excellent. All right. Well, hi everyone. Noam Eital, CEO of Darwin AI. Great to be here on the call with you guys. Longtime partner of the GovAI Coalition and working with the team. So again, many familiar names here. Great to be speaking with you. And I'm really excited to be here also with Mark. Mark, you want to briefly introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Nice to meet everybody. Mark Taghap. I'm the Chief Information Security Officer for the City of Aurora. I bring about 26 years of experience. I really started network engineer, and then worked my way to IT manager, director of IT, and I'm here now as the CISO, working across various industries, manufacturing, engineering, telecom, consulting, and then my previous to this was a private equity firm. I was in really cybersecurity now for since 2018, give or take. Love the partnership and the partnership with Darwin, but really the initiative with the city of Aurora, and why we partnered with them, and it's been great thus far. So nice to meet everyone.
So excellent. So me and Mark are going to tag team a bit, and we're going to share a bit the work we're doing around AI governance. Let me introduce myself, a bit of background, because it's always helpful to understand as well. I'll make it very short. So as I mentioned, Noam Etal, this is my second company I built in the GovTech space. So in the early days in 2016, building around deep learning, when that was the cool buzzword, and how we can use data that was open and available then around crashes and incidents to build predictive models and algorithms for crash prediction. Built that company up. It was called Waycare, and sold that. Worked for a little bit in venture capital. And in that role in venture capital, one thing that kept happening is companies that were pitching around generative AI were talking about how it will transform a lot of verticals, but government was a missing one. And one of the key pieces when we dug deeper into a lot of the agencies and folks like yourself talking to was this challenge around how do we build governance? How do we think about scaling and doing it in a safe way? And that's kind of where Darwin comes into play. So let me share a screen and we'll go through our partnership today with Aurora, which was really focused around how do we work to build around their AI strategy, but orchestrate the guardrails in a way that they can comply to their policy, but still think about how they innovate and adopt AI. So let me share a screen. Can you guys, everyone see my screen?
Yep, we can see it.
Yes. Mhm.
Excellent. Okay. So just very briefly, I think we talked a little bit about, let me just get the right, hold on, not the right one. That's the right one. Go back to the Zoom. Okay, great. So we introduced ourselves a bit. And maybe actually, Mark, you started on this, but to kick us off, if you can give a bit of your objectives when you partnered with Darwin, talk a little bit about the process where you guys were at and you're going through, and then I will take a few minutes to walk you through high-level overview of Darwin, and then the rest of the time we'll spend Mark walking through the platform and actually demonstrating some of the work that they're doing around AI Navigator, which is the inventory, and some of the other components as well.
Okay, sure. Really, our AI initiative is not about just chasing, the latest trend, right? It's really all about enabling the business outcomes and truly what matters. So across everything, AI is being, we can say, like, automated, being used to automate and repetitive tasks, improve our decision making, and uncover other opportunities. Right now, for the city of Aurora, that really means thinking about where AI can drive efficiency and reduce the costs. Like, this administration's all about being more fiscally responsible. And of course, me being the CISO is improve the security. Some of the examples include, like, predictive analytics that we use to forecast all the demands, AI assistant to help our employees really work smarter. And again, putting my CISO hat, is the anomaly detection to strengthen our cybersecurity posture. And really the key here is alignment with align our initiative two business goals. Our three pillars of success are public safety, economic, and this is a city of Aurora's pillars of success of public safety, economic development, and education. So most of you probably didn't know, but in May we had a new mayor that was sworn in, right? And so right now the pillars have changed a little bit, but I mean, for the most part, it's all about the safety of our of our citizens. Continue to develop the city, and then of course continue to educate the folks here at the city of Aurora. So I mean, really, with the whether it's whether that's driving innovation or even protecting our data. Now, we're here to continue to improve our customer, in this case, our citizens' experience. And as you know, AI is not just a destination, but it's the enabler. And then with we started with a 1-year initiative with Darwin, and it's again, I mentioned earlier, it's gone really well, and they had provided us, because we're new at this, right? And I think maybe a lot of organizations, private and public, are still relatively new. So with their depth of knowledge or experience and great support, they've helped us from the beginning to the end. And Noam, do you want me to go into the kind of like the steps now at this time?
Let me do this. I'll walk through a bit of high level, just so people understand who we are, but then very quickly, because I want to be mindful of time, let's switch over to the platform itself if you can show them, and you'll walk them through them. So let's do that. So as Mark was talking about, one of the goals was, okay, how do we put security and governance in place in a way that's going beyond the policy? Visibility on the AI inventory, the guardrails, and how do we help scale responsibly? I think understanding where the place we're sitting in is where we're seeing from our data where there is heavy usage of employees within your organization that are using AI. Most of this is not the approved tools. It is personal use of various tools out there. And yet security concerns is a primary risk for the ITs and CIOs out there, right? That you guys are on the line. So there's this kind of mismatch that's happening right now. Bottom up adoption with the need to put governance in place. The way we think about it in Darwin is that first step is to building the governance and bringing AI under control where you have full visibility. And then how do you build with that? And building, in our world, we talk more about agentic AI and building workflows rather than these full big use case launches. So thinking about what are the repetitive manual processes that are out there. I'll talk about that in a minute. At the core, the Darwin Govern platform that Mark will show you guys has kind of 4 elements to it. So I'll let him walk you through it. But high level, we start from a policy. We put out a free tool that we work closely with the Gov AI Coalition really to develop, which is helping any agency that wants to get started with a policy. I'll go in and later put it in the link, policy, our policy wizard, or maybe Melissa can go in and put it in, where any one of you guys that wants to get started with their policy can go and create their own policy for free. And we're using the frameworks of both NIST, RMF, both the Gov AI Coalition templates that are great, but also enabling you guys to take your specific state and local requirements and synthesize them into the policy as well. The next step from there is building your inventory. And how we do that, we'll talk about a bit with the AI patch that Mark will describe the deployment. Risk management with ties where we codify your policy and then enable you to have full visibility across your AI usage and understand compliance and unvetted AI tools. And then control center, which gets to the adoption. So how do we look at your use cases and spend around AI and actually help around fostering adoption? Once we put that in place, as I mentioned, the security and the governance in place, we then work in with the departments, what's called Launchpad, where we start developing agentic workflows. So the example here would be manual processes. Let's take a purchasing department that manually reviews bids for pass fail. We would build within the compliance of govern automated workflow that fits to their exact use case. And we work with those departments, typically administrative departments, around building agentic workflows. So going from ideation to deployment within a week rather than what you would typically look at in the software world of several years. Let me stop here because I tried to make it really short. And maybe Mark, if you want to share your screen from the platform and walk us through from the codification to the inventory and your thought process as you're going through that in kind of a few minutes to give your perspective as well. Mark, let me know if you're able to pull it up or if you need any help on my side.
And you're still on mute, Mark. Not sure. You're trying to talk to us.
I don't know if Mark can hear us. Mark, can you hear us? Oh, there's the screen share.
Oops. That over. Okay.
We saw your screen earlier. Now it disappeared.
How about now?
Nope. We saw it earlier, but then it disappeared.
Okay, hold on 1 minute.
The beauty is you can build the best technology in the world, and then you're still going to have the challenges on screen share and Zooms of the like. That will never go away in 50 years from now.
It's the live demo. You always have to pray to the demo gods that
Yeah.
you can get through it.
So
Exactly.
true.
How about now? Do you see?
Yeah, we're good.
Yep.
Dashboard?
Yep. We see it, yeah.
Okay. So now when it really comes to discovering the AI tools and what we have, the use cases, we and Darwin knew that we had to be thoughtful about this. And, the best approach really is to start small, low risk areas, pilot projects that really allow us to test what works before scaling across the entire enterprise, right? I mean, that kind of makes sense in a lot of these rollouts, especially critical ones, right? So we deployed it's what they call the Darwin AI agents on all of our devices. We first started out with IT, and then it's been a few months now, but typically what I'll do in the small pilot, it's IT, HR, FINA or finance, some of the purchasing and accounting, before we roll it out to, the public safety, fire, police. So, and the AI agent gathered all the AI tools that users were using. And before I go into that, so this here is the basic dashboard, as you can see, with the risk center, the control center, and the policy hub. So, and what was great about the partnership really was, at least for me, is they opened up only small parts to me rather than everything else. So when we first started out, it was AI Navigator, right? Just to see what was being recognized. So when an AI tool is recognized in our environment, the default is shadow AI. So we had a plethora of shadow AI tools, AI, and then based on that, even ChatGPT was shadow AI. So it was as simple as authorize. Before there was an authorize and then authorize redact PII, but they simplified that and moved it, and I can show that to you later I believe it's in the policies, so that they can be applied across, multiple AI tools. So, but anyways, as you can see up here, I've got only 15 tools that are authorized and 39 unauthorized. So ChatGPT, Slack, we authorize Grammarly. Some of these you're familiar with. Did somebody have a question? Oh, okay, sorry. I thought somebody had a question. And then everything is unauthorized. There is Perplexity was initially authorized because we have a boards and commission that they were leveraging Perplexity along with a partner of theirs. So we allowed that, but I think it might have been like a week. No, I take it back. Probably more towards a month ago. There was some, Perplexity had some data. I don't know if as far as leaking, but anyways, so now what I've told the boards and commission is anytime you need to use it, just simply, the old manual, give me a call, I'll release it. When you're done, we're gonna block it again.
Mark, I have a question, and I have
Yes.
the context of Gnome having shown this to me before. Now, where it says the medium risk, high risk, now that is actually bumping up against your own AI governance policies, correct? And that's what's determining that rating.
From my understanding, yeah, it's a combination of like how many users within our environment, and then also, what are some of the vulnerabilities or the issues that specific, AI tool is having. Now, no, if
Yeah.
you can
Yeah, I
chime
can.
in, I may be missing another component, but
No, I'll add some color here. So you're right. Usage is one thing. So a tool like DeepSeek, when it's shadow, would be high risk, but in this case, it's unauthorized, it's blocked across the organization. And so it no longer, in that sense, is a high risk in the sense that the tool is not being utilized across the city, it's fully blocked. Whereas something like the OpenAI API, if it's authorized, there is a lot of user behavior generated risks that we're seeing. And the way we can balance that is with actual data. So Mark will go to the risk center and show you guys, you can't go into details on the incident, but he could show you guys what that would look like. So when we're seeing a lot of incidents around PII coming in from the systems, and you'll see a lot of them are from ChatGPT and the likes, that actually will provide us some data around the risk factoring for those tools as well. So it's backed by the policy, but also by the usage itself that's happening within the organization as well.
I forgot my headphones.
Sorry, was there another question there?
I think
I think it was.
real quick,
Yeah, and I think
Fatma, can you please mute yourself? I cannot mute you, but if you could mute yourself, that would be really helpful. Thank you so much.
And I think, Mark, maybe just on the end navigator, if you can also show, so within a tool specifically, what that looks like once you've authorized it or unauthorized it when it came in as Shadow AI, to kind of how that's helping you guys understand usage across the organization as well.
Is this what you want me to show? No.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, yeah. Within the navigator, I thought it could be helpful to understand the mapping.
The actual mapping of my users.
No. Within like a tool, that ChatGPT as an example.
Okay.
You just had it open.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, this is a wealth of information here. You've got the origin, right? US, a DeepSeek could probably show, China, but total users of 103, ones that are active, 59. You see the percentage that it's gone down. People probably, I'm still on their extended Labor Day vacation interaction. And you can see, the peaks and valleys. And then this is helpful too in the department. Now, what's key, and we haven't completely finished that, is with the Active Directory, or the database that you have all your users. It's good to put them in actual groups. So instead of, okay, Mark in IT is using this, now we can see, okay, all of IT is, that 10 of them are actively using ChatGPT. So that's another component too, and that's all, within the setup.
And I'll add anecdotally, Mark, that this is for other customers as well. But when Copilot or the likes is involved too, what we often see between different tools is there's adoption that change by department. So licenses that are purchased across the city, we will see utilization that's much higher in certain administrative departments versus other departments with low usage of those specific tools. Copilot as an example, and preference to ChatGPT and the likes. And so thinking about how to adjust the right tools to the right departments and users based on what the actual data is showing there. And maybe, Mark, I think also in the interest of time, if you want to showcase a bit and walk through the risk center and kind of explain that and the configuration on the policy, I think is also really helpful to help understand how you move from policy that's at the PDF level to now configuring the guardrails in an automated way.
So we're at the risk center right now, and I'll go directly to incidents, because that's where that's where this is really helpful. So all these, and I won't open it up, but why it's pending is because it saw something that is a flag. Whether if I'm using ChatGPT, and I put in some sensitive information like a social security. I mean, I just maybe copy and paste and maybe say, polish this sentence, and not realizing that I put social security. So it will have that, and it will at least for me right now, it'll just and of course Noam's team will ping me, will alert me that, hey, there is a pending incident that I need to look into. And then let me take a step back. I had when we first put this in, there was a lot of concern, not only from me, but from everybody on the leadership team, as well as outside of IT, is what type of information is this AI agent gathering? Is it seeing, anything I put into, like, in my searches? And the answer that I received was, it does not. It only picks up AI tools and the information that you put in that is in, I wouldn't say pending, that is what's the word? No, it's
Well,
just
within the
question.
policy compliance, right?
Yeah.
I think it's the way, yeah.
Yeah.
And I can give like a 1 sentence on that. Is so we deploy the endpoint specifically to keep the privacy of the individual. And the reason we do that is we're able to look at the interaction with the tool. And if it is compliant usage, someone using ChatGPT the way they should and it's authorized, then that data remains on that device, never leaves over the wire outside of it. However, if it's an instance that is non-compliant, only at that point, over encrypted, would it be sent back to the main platform, right, with the tagging around the incident specifically. So it allows us to keep the data at the individual, at the endpoint, not having to expose it, and then only interact and bring back the insight and data around the incidents of miscompliance per the policy of Aurora in this case.
Great.
Yeah, and our data is stored in our instance of we chosen our Microsoft stack. Blog storage is what it's called. So it depends on what where you guys decide to move that data or have the data being collected. Okay, so you mentioned policies. No, okay.
All right. So, and that kind of bumps us up against time,
Yeah.
but want to leave some room for any questions that members of the Gov AI Coalition might have. So If any of you have a question, just go ahead and come off mute. Or if you want me to ask it, you can drop it into the chat. Either one is more than welcome.
Hey,
But
Nicole. This is Visuga Viraju from Town Normal. Quick question. Again, I've had the luxury of viewing this tool. We are one of the organizations adopting this here soon. So if you don't mind, Mark or Noam, showing how ChatGPT can be an authorized tool, but it could still block people from posting PII, I think that would be useful for the group.
yeah, it looks like Mark is going over that right now, right, Mark?
Okay, yeah.
You want to walk us through what you're doing?
Yeah, so in the past, I'd say maybe 2 weeks ago, we could have just done like there were all this authorized, there was authorized, a redact PII, which was great for me because we only had maybe 10 back then, right? And then it disappeared. So, but it's great now because with 54 and counting, I can just go directly to the policies and it's an all encompassing, 4 codified rules. So this one here, so you got the PII upload to unauthorized. I'll just go into each one. So unauthorized, obviously, it's blocked the usage, right? The one you were talking about, Basuda,
Was
is
authorized. She was
would be
asking
this
about
one
authorized.
here, right? Is authorized and redact PII. So
Yeah, and I'll explain that. So what happens there is, Mark configured it for ChatGPT to be authorized, and when there's PII, rather than blocking the user, let's say they put in Social Security, we would detect that as PII, we'd redact it at the endpoint, and before it gets pushed out to the cloud to OpenAI, only the redacted information would go out. So let's say they put Social Security, none of the Social Security number would go out, only the redacted version of it would go out, so no PII would be exposed. And that is automatically created at the endpoint for this specific. Now, it's up to whoever is the customer here, the user, the administrator, to choose what configuration they want, whether it's block, redact, et cetera, or just create an alert. There was a question that I saw from the audience around, does it track actual models, or actual models being used by productized wrappers? So yes, it looks at embedded AI as well within the tool. So the way we do that is we have a full registry of the AI systems that we update daily. We keep it up to date. And so when we're looking at tool, let's take an example of ZenCity or any other GovTech environment. They'll use specific AI or LLMs within that. We're able to identify and track those as well.
Also, Andrew asked, does it block from an integration perspective on all city devices? The app's domains are blocked, is the question. And Andrew, do you want to come off mute? Can you clarify that? Just
So you make it active. Does that mean that how does that work? Like, so I'm on a browser, I have Copilot or Perplexity or ChatGPT on. What happens?
Mark, you want to take that?
in regard, and we have it blocked.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it should, let me see here.
because like for example, on the iPhone, you can download the app, right? So you
Yeah.
can download ChatGPT, DeepSeek, whatever you can download. So does it block the app too, or like is it just a domain, or how does that work?
So let me see if I can, there's some, let me see if I can just go. I know there are some of them that it blocks the domain because that initial home page has some type of an AI AI engine. But if that home page doesn't, the domain page doesn't have an AI engine at all, then it will allow it. And then, as you navigate through that home page, as soon as it has some type of an AI or what the platform deems as AI, then it would block it. Let me
And so just to follow up on that question while you're finding the
So
site, so does that
yeah.
mean then that, oh yeah, so then do you just have to integrate it into your firewall, or how does that work?
No, not so. If we didn't have Darwin, then yeah, we would just say, block that whole domain of DeepSeek, right? Since we have it, it will block only the URL that has an AI engine. So I'm trying to think if I know there's one that we blocked, but it allows us to get to the home page until we navigate, and then there's a certain point where it blocks it just because there is some form of an AI embedded tool within that page.
Yeah, and while
Makes
you're looking at that, I can add a bit of color there. So it would block on the browser. I can't see the name of who asked it, but
This
I
is
apologize.
Andrew.
Andrew, sorry. So it would block on the browser, but then also native because it sits at the endpoint. If you downloaded a ChatGPT and you decide to block ChatGPT, it would not allow access for that. Or if for whatever reason you decide to block Copilot, which most agencies do not, it would be able to block that within your Excel that you're using. So it sits between the device and the network and is able to look at the compliance, right? Encrypt and decrypt the information, understand whether it's compliant to the policy, and then based on the rule set that you put, allow or disallow it.
Okay, so as an example, basically this lives on every device.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's an endpoint, yep, for sure. Let me get through the rest of the some of the questions that we have in chat really quick, and then Lily, I see your hand up, so I will pop back over to you. So Steve, you had also, no, sorry, we already did that one. Maria is asking, is there a free version of this tool?
There's no free version of the Govern because it requires quite a lot of effort and work on our part as it relates to your policy and codification. The policy wizard that I think Melissa put in the chat is completely free, and that is something you guys can utilize freely. The Govern piece is as you guys can see, it's a pretty involved process on our side, I should say, to be able to provide this level of visibility and guardrails for the organization.
Awesome. And then Nicole is asking, in the redaction of the PII that you had showed us, does it also apply to uploaded documents, like things that we can upload into ChatGPT?
Great question. The answer is not today, and it is something that we're now building in our roadmap, meaning we're now working on that. That is something we're seeing a lot of, and we're now working and developing that. So the capability we have of redaction at the endpoint is very similar to the capability we have to build in onto the uploaded documents. There's a few customers we're working with now on adding that component as well into the system.
Fabulous. Okay, Lily, you've got your hand up. You want to come off mute and ask the question real quick?
Yeah, so piggybacking on that use case, the redactions at the endpoint, how does it work as far as, like, for example, if it's ChatGPT, for example, and the use case policies do not use PII information, can you show that real quick, how it blocks it from the end user perspective?
You, Nicole, tell me, or Mark, if you guys want to take the time to walk through that, but I'm happy to walk you through it as an offline, but high level, when you write something that has PII in it, at the endpoint, there's a lightweight algorithm that detects it. So it knows the format of what is social security versus a phone number, email. You decide the level of sensitivity on the PII, and it would detect that within the text that's written. It sits at the endpoint. If it's compliant, it won't do anything with it. If it's PII, then and you ask to redact it, it will redact that information and just put, instead of the numbers, right, it will say redacted information. I'm happy to show you. I just want to take all the time to walk through. Nicole, you tell me how you'd like
Yeah,
to.
no, that would probably be a better thing to show offline.
Yep.
But Lily, did you have any other follow-up question?
No, that's it. I'm just really, I'm a visual person. It really helps me tremendously when I see something more on demonstration on how this could work. for sure.
Yeah.
I'm happy to show you. And I think, by the way, correction on my end is because we just launched this with another customer the other day, is that starting to enable the redaction on the files. It's still not perfect. I'm being fully transparent here. We're working on that, but it's already something that's in production.
Awesome.
Excuse me. I missed that question. It sounded like an important one. What was I had to attend something else here. What was the question on that, Nicole or no?
Yeah, Lily was asking because you all showed the redaction, in PII if I
Yeah.
just put that directly into ChatGPT. And the follow-up question was, well, does that also apply to documents that are being uploaded? So if you uploaded a document with a whole bunch of social security numbers or something, does it apply to that as well?
Got it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. All right, everyone. If you have further questions for Noam or Mark, please go ahead and reach out to them directly. And they'll be able to have a follow-up conversation with you. Unfortunately, our second demo, they had to postpone for another month, probably next month. So we only had Darwin AI today. But again, feel free to reach out to them directly. You can reach out to me if you need their contact information, but otherwise, no, Mark, really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys. Appreciate it.
Take
All
care.
right. All right, everyone,
Bye.
use cases demo will be again the beginning of next month, and then mid-month you'll have Hemant with a deeper dive, and we'll send out notifications on what that is and everything.